Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So in the previous session, you have learned the login form design with the form validation. So in today's session, let's see the backend implementation of the login. So as we have discussed, like we have a form here. On clicking login button, so where the action I have written, it will go to the control will go to the register servlet and will invoke the method post. To post method, it will invoke. So let's go to the register servlet here. Yes, in the register servlet. So it will go to do post method, this one, and it will invoke process request. Okay, inside this, now we have to add a condition. So I will minimize this. So as I've told earlier, so in the one sublet only, we can write many logics like register, login, logout, and whatever the other things are there. So the first condition is for register. So now here in the same servlet, I will add one more if condition, like else if else if. Probably you guys have known that if else if. So I will write another if condition for the login. So what I'll do, else if, and copy this. Yes, I have added one more condition. So the first condition is for submit one. Submit one is for register, right? 1 second, in the register JSP. So what is the button name? We have given submit one, which means we are clicking on the register button. So it will call the register login. Now I'm writing the second condition for the login. So what is the name for that? Name I have given as login. So I will write the login here. Okay. So whenever I click on the login button, first it will check whether it is a submit one. No. Or this condition fails. Then it will come for the else if condition. It will check for the name, parameter name, that is login. Yes, the condition is true. It will come inside. Now we will fetch the field information, like whatever we have typed here, right? Email and password. So we will fetch that to the servlet. So by using the name parameter, email and PW. So same way we have done here, right? I'll copy this. Okay, request or get parameter of email. First input field is email. I have fetched that. Second input field is password, PW. So name is equal to PW. So I have fetched that and I have stored in the string variable email and PW. Now I'm going to call a method, login method of the class register. See, similar here I've called, right? REG register. By using the registration one class object REG, I have called a method register. In the similar way, I will call the method login by using the object REG login, and I will pass the variables email and password. Okay, the result I will store it in a string variable called status. Okay, fine. Now what is this error? It is showing cannot find symbol, like method login is not defined. Still we have not created a login method, right? So that's why it is giving a error. So now go to the registration one class. Yes. So here already we have written a register method. In the similar way, we have to write logic for the login. Okay, so we will create a method for the login now, public. So it is of the type string. Method name is login, and we have two parameters have passed here. One is email and one is password. Both are of the type string. So string email, comma string password. Okay, and we will return function. I'm going to return status. Status is not defined. It is of the type string. So I'm declaring that status. Okay. Then I've told we will always start with a try catch so that we can trace the error. So I'm adding a try catch. Okay. Now the function method is ready. Now we will write a logic for the login method. So first step is like we have to create a statement by using the con object, connection object, con dot create statement. Then we will create a query. So we will create a statement and we'll pass that statement inside the execute query method so that the query will be executed and the result will be stored in the result set. So for that, I'm going to use this. By using the statement object, I am going to create a query. Okay. What is the query? We have to check whether the email and password entered by the user exists in the table or not. If it is existed, then I will return a status success. If the password or email doesn't match in the table, then I will return a status failure. Okay, for that I'm going to write a query select star from, what is the table name? Table name is user data. Select star from user data. Where? What are the conditions I'm checking? The conditions I'm checking are email and password column I have to check. Okay, where email is equal to, since it is a string, start with a single quote, then double quotes, plus plus. So which variable I have to check? I'm passing this email variable right from the servlet. So this email variable I have to check with the table email column, where email is equal to email. And what is the another column? Column is password. Password is equal to this password variable. Okay. Yes. So this is the query. Whatever the email and password typed by the user, that email and password, I am checking whether it is existed in the table user data or not. Now, the result will be stored in the result set object. Then I will check, I'll take that value and I will keep it in a Boolean variable. Okay, the result rs.next, I am storing it in a Boolean variable B. Okay, then I will check the condition. If it is existed, means true value will be there. So if B equals true, means if it is existed, whatever the email and password typed by the user is there in the table, then it will be true, it will come inside if, otherwise it will come inside else. If it doesn't match, it will come inside else. Then I told like I will assign some status to the status variable. If it is true, I will assign success. If it is false, I will assign failure, and I'm returning the status variable to the servlet back. Okay, then one more thing I'll do here. So in the previous session, we have learned the session by using the set attribute and get attribute. So we can store the value, some value, whatever we are required in the session variable, and we can use it throughout the project wherever it is required until the session get destroyed. Okay, so until you log out or session get destroyed, you can use that session variable wherever you want. So that's why whatever the things after login, whatever the things I need, so I'm going to store those things, those columns or those variables in the session variable. So what is the session object here? Session object is SE. I have taken a session object, created a session object SE, so that by using this SE object, I'm going to store some values. Session dot set attribute. Okay, what is the name? So variable name I will take what are the columns I'm going to store is like name I will store. So that like somewhere here we can show welcome, like welcome Divya, welcome Karthik, like that you can show somewhere, so that I need the name. And sometimes email also we need for sending mails and all, email we need. So email I will store, and the unique ID. What is the unique ID for all the user? This ID column, right? So this also I will store. So total 3 things I'm going to store now. So if you want, you can store other values also if it is required. So the name, whatever you want, session name, you whatever you want, you can take. I'm going to take uname, and the value I'm assigning is rs by using this result set object, because the result is stored in the result set object, right? By using that object, I am getting those value rs dot get string of rs dot get string of, first is the name column. See, name column is there. rs dot get string of name means whatever the name is there for this email ID and password, whatever the name is there, that name it is going to store in a variable called uname. Okay, that name how we are getting is by using the result set object and get string method. This is the column name of the user data. Similarly, we will store the email also. What is the email column? Column name is email, and the variable name I will take it as uemail. Next, the third column, I'm taking ID or UID I will take, and the column name is ID. Okay, fine. So now that these 3 things I'm going, it's required for me in the future sessions. That's why I'm going to store it in a session. So this is the login method. So this is completed. We will save it. Then the status is returned back to the servlet. The status is returned back to the servlet. Now, yes, here we are checking, right? By using the status, we are checking if it is existed, some message I'm storing, if it is success. Similarly, we will check here if the return status value, the status return status value dot equals, what is the first one? First status is success. The second is else if the return status value is failure. Okay, so what is the next step? If it is success, I'm going to store some message in the session variable name called message. I'll take a message only variable name, and the value I'm going to store is login. Some login successful I'll store. Okay, and here if it is failure, I will use login failed. Okay, then we have to dispatch the request to some file, right? So for that, I have told we are going to use a request dispatcher for that. So I'm going to use request dispatcher. So if it is failed, so let it come back to the login.jsp and let it show the error login failed. If it is successful, let it go to the index.jsp with a message login successful. Okay, let us save. Now we have to correct one more thing in the login.jsp. See, in the register.jsp, we have added this class message, right, to show the messages. The same message I will copy and I will paste inside this div. Yes. Class message is there. If session.get attribute of message, yes, message only I have taken here. Variable name is message. If it is not equal to null, then print the message by using the expression tag. So I think I have to copy the style also for the message. Yes. For the message, we have some style. I'll copy that. Yeah. Now the login is complete. So we will check whether this code is working perfectly or not. Okay. So I'll type the email and password. First, I'll type the wrong email and password. So the registered email is actually a@gmail.com. So I will type a1@gmail.com. And password, let it be 123456 as in the database. Yes, I'll click on login. Yes, see it is coming login failed because the registered email ID is a@gmail.com, but I have entered wrong email ID a1@gmail.com. That's why the login failed. That's why I'm here. The message we are showing is login failed, right? See, login failed, and it is dispatching the request to login.jsp. Now let me enter the correct email ID and password here, gmail.com 123456. Yes, see the correct email ID and password I have entered. So the request has dispatched to the index.jsp. Okay, so this is about the login. So here, okay, I will show the use of this session also now. Where it is. Yeah, here I have set it some session values, right? So I will show like what is the use of this. So let me print a username whenever the login has happened. Okay. In the index.jsp, here I'm going to here I'm going to print welcome username. So for that, what I'm going to do, the same message class I will take, same message class, I will put it in index.jsp. Where shall I add? Like inside this category is the only I will add. Okay. And I will take the message design also. Okay. Now what we are going to print? Session.get attribute of not message. So we have to check session.get attribute of uname. Okay. Because we are going to print uname, right? So that's why. So if it is logged in successfully, then in the uname variable, so the username will be stored. So username will be stored in the uname variable if it is successful login. Otherwise, it will be null. So that's why I'm checking not equal to null. Then I'm going to print that uname with a welcome. Welcome username. Okay. So I will log in again. See, welcome Divya. Divya is the username, right? See, username is Divya. So it is showing welcome Divya. So this is the use of a session variable. So this Divya you can print, like you can use wherever you want in your project. Not only Divya, as I've told, like whatever the column names you want, you can fetch it here and you can store it in a session variable. So this is regarding login, backend implementation of login. Okay, so we will see in the next session. Thank you.
Hello guys, hopefully you have enjoyed the session. Do follow me on Sukshmas for if you want to get a more into questions, e-notes as well as the MCQ. And one more information I want to convey. If you want to become a Sukshmas Beyond Knowing mentor, click on the Beyond Knowing menu and click on the details. And here in the content, you just click on the BK mentors. Sukshmas will automatically shortlist the students as a mentor, and it depends on the few of the factors. So these are all the factors you can check it out. So once you satisfy these factors, so Sukshmas will consider you as a mentor, so that you will get the scholarship up to 5K. Regarding mentor policies, you can read it out. Thank you. See you in my next session.